best as I can. Don't take anything I say as gospel, just because, like I said, this is sort of new for me in a sense. I can make stuff up if we really need to get that far. So. Your sunscreen on, right?
Yeah. Protected.
All right. So we're going to start by collecting clear. If you've done it, you kind of are probably sort of familiar with everything. But
Not in the least.
okay, very good. We're going to start with clear. Clear is a foundation for what we do. We're going to roll it in the frit. That's it. For us, it's more time and cost efficient to coat the surface with color than to take like a solid chunk of color, heat that up in the kiln, then blow that out into a bubble. For ornaments, again, production stuff. We want to make them as quickly and as best as we can.
Ooh.
It's only about 2100 degrees. All right, so collecting as much material as I can. I'm going to use my table to push off. A lot of this glass gets collected around the end of the pipe. We call it the moil. So I want to push as much of that volume off the end as I can before I go into my color. And naturally, under heat, glass just bonds with itself, so the color sticks right to it. It also kind of helps that the glass has a texture, kind of like molasses almost. It will naturally stick to a couple of other things, but again, under heat, glass wants to be together. So we're going to do a couple layers of our color, get it all melted in. Should only have to do 2 or 3. This opaline is a powder, so you have to put a couple extra layers on. It doesn't spread as far as it melts. Some of the other colors are like a kosher salt kind of texture, like this gold here. And yeah, the color can spread as it melts a little bit. This powder is not going to spread nearly as far, so just an extra layer should be fine. And then we're going to do one quick roll in our gold. So we'll melt our gold in.
Isn't the heat traveling up the...
No, so eventually, yes, it can. But the steel pipes are generally about a 1/4 inch thick. It takes a while for the heat to conduct. Also, the ornament's going to be done in just a couple minutes. It doesn't have that much time to come up the steel pipe. So, short answer, yes, it can. But we give this one a little bit of texture by throwing it in the mold real quick. Heat this back up. So, now, like I said, the glass sometimes has a texture to it, either it's a powder or a kosher salt kind of thing. I want to get a bubble started in the material. We're going to do that by trapping air inside the pipe. And I'm keeping my thumb over the end. We should see the bubble start to inflate. The pressure builds up. It's got nowhere to go. You can see that glass start to fill up a little bit, just like that. There's only so much pressure we can trap inside the pipe. But that hot air, once it reaches the glass, that hot air starts to rise on its own. And I am full of hot air too.
Aren't we all?
Aren't we all, really?
Better up than down, though.
I like you. All right, so we're going to heat this thing up a little bit more. Now that we've got the little pocket of air started, the hose is on the end. We're going to bring this back up to a nice pliable state. Just want to heat it up till I see it kind of moving a little bit on the end of the pipe. It doesn't need to be like liquid hot. All right, so got a nice bright orange tip. It's a good way to gauge our heat. Now, might be kind of hard to see, but where the glass meets the pipe, that's where we're going to squeeze the neckline while we inflate it. Make sure I keep this thing in motion here. I want to be careful. I don't want this top shoulder falling back too far. Alright, so, round is the ideal shape. Roundish is perfectly acceptable. I would say this is a perfectly roundish ornament. So, I know it's kind of hard to see over there, and because of the light in the shop right now, but our colors are already starting to show. Because we've got the glass made kind of thin at this point, you can see it in the sun. Ooh. Yeah, it'll look a little different once it's cooled off, but I'm going to give it a quick heat, just because, again, the glass is a little thinner. It's not going to hold its heat as long. And I'm sure most people know through first-hand experience, glass cannot change temperature too suddenly. If it cools down too quick, it's going to shrink, it's going to separate. So the neckline, this acute angle that we squeeze down as we were blowing the glass out, it carries and builds a lot of tension and a lot of stress. So we're just going to gently squeeze down on it, try to get it to cool off. There is enough stress right there that we can score the glass. So it's in a little bowl that's got some insulation. We're going to get some clear, and we're going to put the loop on. And I'll give you guys bonus points if you know the technical answer, the technical term for the loop. Anybody? The hanger-upper, that's right. So while this clears really hot, right on top, right where I separated the glass and the pipe, I'm going to give it a big swish. And reel it by extra material, or do a haircut. I'm going to grab the top, pull away, and pull it right back into itself. So, getting a head start on holiday season for next year already. And again, you know, ornaments are kind of a year-round production. They'll sell even in August, but right now, between here, Disney Springs, and Epcot, we cannot have enough of these things. So, I'm going to put my finished product inside my kiln. Well, I mean, did you sign the waiver? I don't blame you. Because I know there's no waiver. That's how I know that's not
You
true.
must be a liar, Charles.
Anyways, everything we make is going to go inside the kiln to stay hot. Because even if I did give you the ornament, it would break, and I can almost guarantee it. Because it's cooling down too quickly for its own good. So it's going to go inside the kiln. This is not a lie, I swear. It's going inside the kiln. Just like everything that we make has to go inside the kiln. The shape or size doesn't really matter. Kiln's about 950 degrees, and then at the end of the night, we'll do the annealing cycle. It's going to take about 12 hours to cool everything down. So, because we want to make sure the thick and the thin parts of the glass are the same temperature as they cool. Because that thick glass will hold its heat much longer than thin. That's what's going to separate eventually. Called stress. That's what they use.
That's what they used to think.
Any questions?
Is that how you learned how to do all this, YouTube?
Yeah, take karate classes.
There you go.
How many are you going to be making today? Like,
I'm gonna make as many as I can, probably anywhere between 30 to 40.
wow.
But you know, like I said, we're probably gonna do a couple vases later just for fun. But ornaments, I'm gonna start with them. I'm gonna try to get at least 20, 25 done, and then maybe I'll do volume. So, if you guys want to stick around, we're gonna do a few more. Please feel free. If you have any questions, she's seen the whole thing. You can ask her.